All right, well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. We're going to ask everyone to take a seat. Part of the reason why we're being so punctual, well, some of it really comes out of respect for you, and we're really grateful that you're here tonight and want to talk more about that. But also want to let you know that this is being televised live on Olelo TV this year, and they start promptly at 7. We will end promptly at 9. However, we won't be running out of here, and a lot of us usually stay around for some time afterwards. So we're grateful you're here. This is a great room. I want to thank Sean Takashima, the principal of Wahiawa Elementary, for allowing us this room. Where's Sean? Where is he? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a great room, great crowd. We are somewhat aware of the things you want to talk about, but as in every one of them, it's always a really tremendous evening, educational for us, and I'll talk about that. But what we'd like to do, and we've got a few protocols to go through. We want to really start tonight off with a pule. So I'm going to ask Mark Palumbo to come up here from New Hope Central Oahu Church. The microphone is yours, sir.
Amen. I want to extend a big mahalo to Mayor Blangiardiʻs and to everyone here for this time. My name is Mark Palumbo, and I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of New Hope Central Oahu here in the Wahiawa community. On April 4th, 1999, we held our inaugural service at Wahiawa Intermediate School. So this past Easter, we celebrated our 25th anniversary, and it has been a tremendous privilege and an honor to serve in this community alongside all of you. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in the abundance of counselors, there is safety." So as we pray, I know there's a lot of wisdom and experience in this room. Let us also ask for the Lord to grant us His guidance and His counsel for the safety and the prosperity of Wahiawa. Amen. Let's bow our heads and pray. Lord, as we gather together this evening, we come first and foremost with hearts filled with gratitude for all that you have blessed us with, especially the beauty and the richness of this land that we get to call home. We also lift up our leaders to you. We pray for our mayor, the city council members and officials. We thank you for the work that they do. We pray your blessing and covering over them and their families. We also ask that you would grant them wisdom and discernment as they navigate the challenges and the opportunities presented. May they be guided by the principles of justice, of compassion and humility, serving the common good, and putting the needs of others above their own. Lord, in the midst of diverse viewpoints and differing backgrounds, we ask that the spirit of aloha would prevail tonight. We ask that we would embrace one another in a spirit of humility and in a spirit of kindness. Would we acknowledge the inherent dignity in every person in this room and those in our community? And so we ask for your aloha to cover this evening and to go with us in the days to come. Would you give us the courage to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before you and with one another? And as we embrace the work ahead of us, would our hearts abound with hope, because we know that through your grace, nothing is impossible. Would you inspire us to dream boldly and to work diligently for a future of prosperity, of hope, and of peace for every person that calls this place home. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen. Aloha, and God bless.
Thank you. That was excellent. That actually, as a pule, set the stage tonight. Really well done. I want to make a couple of quick introductions to we have a couple of council members here. Council member Matt Wire is here from District 2. And I probably should have done ladies first. Forgive me. Councilwoman Val Okimoto here from District 8. And I'm not sure, is Senator Kidani in the room? She's not, and I know it's Senator Dela Cruz. Are Representatives Trish LaChica here yet? If not, I think she will be. She is? Where? Sorry, Trish, I didn't see you. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Trish LaChica. And I think that's it. Is Representative Matsumoto here? Oh, yeah, you are. Sorry, I didn't see you in the back. Thank you. Thank you for being here. one of the things that we do, one of the things we, oh, Peruso, I know that I got the wave. I thought I was just getting a hello. Representative Peruso's here as well. Okay, thank you. You know, a lot of our job and what the things we do involves today in the day-to-day city operations, but so much of it really is long-term, things that we're doing that really affect not just present, but towards the future. And one of the things we decided to do coming into office was to invest in our future with respect to setting up a youth commission. You know, there's an ad on television today by a company called Invesco. I have nothing to do with it, but I like the positioning, their branding, and they say, you know, the future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. Not investing in the future is scary. And so one of the things we set up a youth commission, and we're really proud tonight to have a couple of them come. And we'd like to kick off our meetings when they show up as a growth opportunity for them to have each of them come up and speak just for a couple of minutes to introduce you to them. We've been so impressed over the last couple of years since this has gotten started with the quality of these young people, their minds, their contributions, their passion. Has been great. So with that, I'm going to ask my appointee, Esther Lim, to come on up first. I know you were hoping I was going to ask Riley, but no, you're going to come up first. I already blew it with Matt and Val, so you're up first. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Esther Lim. I'm a student at Lalahua High School. I'm a current junior right now, so I do live in this community. I live in Schofield Barracks actually, so I'm in this community, so nice to see you. I'm in the Youth Commission because I want to be able to voice community-based concerns, especially youth concerns in particular, as well as other concerns in general, because what impacts the youth also impacts other generations, other people, and our community as a whole. So I strongly believe that communities truly shine when they work together, and youth can definitely play a role within our communities and move onward towards community goals. During this fiscal year, the Commission was able to pass a number of resolutions that reflected our concerns in the entire county of Honolulu, as we have different commissioners from different districts. And being able to contribute and serve as part of the Youth Commission broadened my horizons and policy views. So the potential towards community engagement and involvement that we saw was really big and really immense, and it looks really hopeful. We hope to be more proactive within our communities, so I'll be looking forward to seeing more of you and being able to recognize you one day. And thank you for your attention and interest. Thank you.
Thanks, Esther. Diego Carranza, you're up. There's 3 of them tonight, so this is a bonus for us. Usually sometimes 1, 2, got 3. Go ahead, Diego.
All right, so you're going to have to help me out here. I was struggling to find parking, so I just came in late. Am I just doing an introduction?
Yep.
All right.
You got 2 minutes.
Oh, I'm keeping you guys here for 2. Okay, so I'm not going to go over what the Youth Commission is. I'm sure Esther just discussed that, but I'm really happy to see a lot of familiar faces out here today. And it's been a real honor to be the Honolulu Youth Commissioner for District 2. And just to learn what city government is and really just get into the nuances of it. And I want to commend all the parents in here that brought their children. It's really admirable to see getting the keiki involved. And they might not like it, but bring them here. They need to get civically involved, because when we get together as a community and we organize, that's when we can really see some change. And you know, I've gotten so much more in touch with this community. Being able to go to those neighborhood board meetings, hear about, you know, what's the issues with noise on Rose Street and Local Drive, and or, you know, the issues with not having sidewalks, and just really getting to work in my capacity to help the best I can, and just be a member of the community. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Diego. Riley Machina, thank you, Diego.
Diego and Esther makes it like kind of easy for me now. Not that much to say. Hi, I'm Riley Mishina. I represent District 8. Councilperson Okimoto appointed me.
Where do you go to school, Riley?
I'm a sophomore at Punahou, and I live in Mililani Mauka. Yeah, like Diego and Esther said, it's really good to have a really diverse group with us. We have ages from people in 8th grade to someone who finished their years in college. So it's really good to have all the aspects and all the different viewpoints of our island, which I feel makes it really good. I think that the Youth Commission is really important, being just having all of us as Keiki understand the importance of civic education and just how it works in the state level, the city county level, and just all that, the importance of how this works. So thank you.
Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Diego. We really appreciate you being here tonight. I should probably have introduced myself. All right, my name is Rick Blangiardiʻs. I don't want to be presumptuous about that, but I have the privilege of serving as the 15th mayor of the city and county of Honolulu, and I'm here to tell you in a few moments you're going to meet the team behind me. This is our cabinet. This is the leaders of the city, and I'm very proud of them, and I'm anxious for you to meet them and hear from them tonight. Before we do that, though, I want to introduce you. We're very fortunate tonight. You know, for us, the military has been a tremendous strategic partner, and one of the things that we've found fascinating and extraordinarily helpful is our ability to work with them. In fact, most recently with the Mililani wildfires, they made all the difference in the collaboration we were able to do with them and how we treated that fire. Whether you know it or not, we had a number of military helicopters up there fighting that fire with water, the amount of water that we could have never done with the 2 fire department helicopters, and you'll hear about that. But tonight we're joined by General Marcus Evans. I've asked him to sit with our team as we have before. He's the commanding general of the 25th Brigade, and if you know anything about that, they're a tremendous unit, a tremendous contribution, make a tremendous contribution to Hawaii. So, General, I'm going to ask you to say a few words, sir. Okay? And
thank you very much. Hey, Chris. Hey, Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and for all the civic leaders. It's an honor to represent the U.S. Army in Hawaii and the 25th Infantry Division. A little bit of history that we are certainly proud of. We're the only division-size element, so about anywhere from 12 to 15,000 in a division. And right now in the United States Army, we're the only division element that was established here on the plains of Leilehua, and we're still here. And we take great pride in that. We want to be good stewards here in the community. We're very thankful for our command teams that engage on a regular basis here with the various community groups. And we always want to be good stewards of what you all provide and be good servants of this community. So, Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight and to work with you and your team.
thank you. Thank you. So last year we began doing those. We did 11 in 10 weeks, and we positioned it at the outset for the first time as a journey of learning for us, and that's really what it proved to be. And so we were very excited again about doing it this year. The people behind me are directors or deputy directors. And they're here tonight not only because we want to learn. I want all of our cabinet to be sensitized to what goes on in each and every district, and quite honestly, even where the common denominators might be. So you're our 4th one of the year. We started in Kapolei, we then went to Kailua, and last week we were in Salt Lake, and each one of those meetings has been different, and I'm sure that tonight will be different as well. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to start off with Tracy here. I'm going to pass the microphone and tell you a little bit about themselves and get familiar. The benefit of having them here is that you have direct contact. And one of the things we're going to try to do tonight, to the best of our ability, while we're on site with you, is answer to your satisfaction any questions you might have. We don't filter the questions. This is an open microphone. The ground rules are such you can ask us anything. Just be prepared to hear something that you may not want to hear, because we're not here to pander to you. We're here to tell you the truth to the best of our ability. But in the event that we cannot do that, okay, then you have a direct contact, and we take great pride in making sure we follow up on everything with everyone, and it's proved to be very effective. This is us trying to serve you as openly, as transparent, and as capably as we possibly can be. The only thing I ask in return is our team will be civil. Our team will be civil. We ask the same in return, okay? And we keep this discourse tonight as a community event. As Pastor prayed tonight, you know, this is a great opportunity for us to come together as a community to talk about the concerns you have. And I know there's frustrations. And I know with the frustrations, there's a lot of passion and a lot of caring, and, you know, and that's what we're here to try to help with that as best we can. So without any further ado, Tracy, we'll start off with you, and we'll go around the room.
Okay, good evening. Tracy Kubota, Deputy Director for the Department of Enterprise Services. Welcome, everybody. Aloha. It's just great to see all of you. We have the auditoriums, so Blaisdell, Shell, golf courses, Honolulu Zoo, and concessions under our department. So any questions you may have, we'd be happy to answer. Great to see all the old family, friends, everybody here in the community. Thanks for having us tonight.
How's it? I'm Haku Millis. I'm the director for the Department of Design and Construction. We work with other city departments on their capital improvement projects, including enterprise services here. Thank you all for being here.
Aloha kako. My name is Kehau Pu'u. I'm the Deputy Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation. So we oversee and serve community through all of our parks, our facilities, our recreation programs, and also we oversee the Division of Urban Forestry. So city, park, and street trees, as well as all of the botanical gardens. Aloha.
Aloha mai kako. Good evening to everybody. Good to see so many faces out here, but actually a lot of familiar faces, which is even better. I'm John Nouchi. I'm the Deputy Director of the Department of Transportation Services. We oversee all modes of public transit, including the bus, the handy van, and our new Skyline Rail. But we also plan and design complete streets for our communities, so we like to help everybody walk and roll better, whatever you might choose to do.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Ka'ili Trask O'Connell, and I'm the Executive Director of MOCA. MOCA is the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts. Mahalo for having us. It's so great to see so many members of the community here tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim Hashiro. I'm the Director for the Department of Customer Services. We provide services in driver's licensing, motor vehicle registration, satellite city halls, and also public communications. Thanks for having us.
Aloha, good evening. Joe Logan, the police chief, the 12th police chief for the city and county of Honolulu, serving the wonderful men and women that serve in blue and in uniform and our civilians. And I look forward to all your questions and anything we can help you with.
Aloha, I'm Andy Sugg. I'm the mayor's chief of staff, and I'm just happy to be here and happy to have conversations with you all during this event and before and after. So thanks for having us.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Formby, I'm the managing director, and I get the honor of working with all the men and women up here. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Krishna Jaram. I'm the deputy managing director. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Stephen Courtney. I'm the Deputy Director for the Department of Information Technology. We're made up of about 160 talented professionals that provide IT services to all these departments. So when you think of us, think about when you have to pay your taxes. That goes to our computer systems. But also when you have to register for a class, let's say with the parks, if you have to report an issue with the city, use our HL 311 application. If you have to find out about how the traffic is or the weather, that's our hnl.info as one of the examples. But again, we try to provide these services to make it easier for the residents of Honolulu. Thank you.
Aloha, good evening. My name is Matt Gonzer, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. And we coordinate actions and policies with the city agencies to ensure equity as we continue to stop causing more climate change, but also prepare communities for a more climate-ready Oahu. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lloyd Yoninaka. I am the Executive Secretary for the Neighborhood Commission, and I oversee the Neighborhood Commission Office. We oversee the entire neighborhood board system. I also know there's some neighborhood board members tonight here. Raise your hands if you could. Yeah, I know Danielle Bass is chair of one of the Mililani boards. Is Jeannie here? Where's Jeannie? Jeannie's the head of the Wahiawa neighborhood board. Thank you for all of you for being here tonight.
Good evening. My name is Lori Kahikina. I'm the executive director and CEO of Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation. That's the rail project. So we're in charge of constructing the rail, and my partner over there, John Nouchi, is responsible for the O&M of running the rail. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Bugs Baguio. I'm the Deputy for Human Resources. While you're sitting there tonight listening to the challenges that we face as a community, you may think to yourself, I can help with that. If so, please see any one of us. We're all recruiters here tonight.
especially if you're an engineer, an IT individual, or what else is it, guys? Accountants. I'm looking at Andy. So whatever you guys need, come see us, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erwin Kawata. I'm the Deputy Manager at the Board of Water Supply. Thank you for having us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kira Shushom. I'm a recent hire being brought in to help the city and county figure out new ways of using our data better to better serve you. Thank you.
So, Kira, you have a title that goes with that.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm the Chief Data Officer.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
It's a
Mr.
big
Mayor.
title, big responsibility. Thank you.
Good evening, Kim Sparlin, Deputy Director of the Office of Economic Revitalization. I don't care what you call us, we just care about the economy and we want to listen to you. As we come out of the pandemic, we want to establish an economy that is of the people and for the people, and that's why these meetings are really, really important to us. We've got some staff outside talking about some of the programs that we do, but email us at oer@honolulu.gov at any time if you have ideas or you have concerns. We're here to support small businesses and entrepreneurs and then hand them off to the state to get them to be bigger, better parts of our economy. So thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jennifer Walter. I'm the Deputy Director of the Department of Emergency Management. Our job is to coordinate with all the agencies that you see up here to prepare for disasters and emergencies and help, if something happens, respond and recover. Our job is also to work with all of you, with businesses, nonprofits, to make sure that you're part of the preparedness. We can't be prepared if you're not prepared, so that we can respond and recover quickly if something happens.
Good evening, everyone. Gene Albano, Director of Department of Facility Maintenance. We're the department that maintains all of the city-owned streets, sidewalks, roads, streams, facilities, infrastructure. So any issues that you may have or perceive to have, please come and see me afterwards and let's talk story. Thank you.
I think they're going to see you before then, Gene, but I just think you better be ready tonight, baby. All right.
Aloha and good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Iseri Matsubara. I'm the Executive Director for the Office of Housing. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your evening.
Aloha, I'm Kevin O'Shea. I'm the Deputy Director of the Office of Housing. I also have the privilege of serving as the Mayor's representative for Wahiawa Board 26. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Jordana. I'm the Early Childhood Resource Coordinator. So my kuleana is to our littlest of littles, like you two. Hi. And I saw a baby walking around in a lime green outfit, and I see little faces over there. I think this is the town hall with the most kids that have come. So mahalo. As Will said, yes, round of applause. Thank you for having us.
Aloha and good evening. Edward Los Banos. I'm the Deputy Director for the Department of Community Services. So we work with a lot of the nonprofits to help individuals, kehiru kupuna, those who are unemployed, looking for employment, to those looking to better their position in the workforce, as well as homeless individuals and people looking for assistance with housing. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Aloha, good evening. My name is Andy Kawano. I'm the Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. We oversee the accounting system, treasury, real property taxes, and purchasing, contract management, to name some of the key things that we help to do to support the city and to provide services to the public. Look forward to meeting you and answering questions. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name is Roger Babcock. I'm the Director of the Department of Environmental Services. We take care of sewage and rubbish.
Hi, everybody. You can remember me as the guy that came in late. I'm sorry I misjudged the traffic, and I seriously underestimated the crowd tonight. The parking here is very interesting. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Moku, the Homeless Coordinator for our Mayor of Honolulu. Glad to be here.
Aloha, my name is Jim Ireland. I'm the Director of Emergency Services. Our department has Health Services Clinic for occupational health for the City and County of Honolulu, Emergency Medical Services, which is our ambulance service, CORE, Specialized Medicine, which is the crisis outreach team for our houseless population, and for a little while longer, Ocean Safety, which is our lifeguards and rescue jet skis. Thank you.
Aloha, good evening. I'm Jason Samala. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief, and I don't know, we just drive around the big yellow trucks.
We have one more.
Aloha, everybody. I'm Donna Puna, Director of Department of Planning and Permitting. Thanks for having us.
You know, this is a very accomplished group, and I could not be more proud of a group of men and women who've signed on during a very difficult time when we all came into office in the middle of the pandemic. And their commitment each and every day not only inspires me, it's humbling. So I have just a couple of requests. And by the way, the guy that's in charge of sewage and garbage is Dr. Roger Babcock. You should know that. He's one of the smartest guys, and just so modest, so modest. But look, a couple of requests. One, we didn't come here tonight to make any speeches. We came here tonight to answer as many questions as possible. So what we're going to ask in return is you have an open mic, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to cut anybody off. But if you can't get to a question, I'm going to say, what's the question? So we'd ask you to come up here because we'd like to cover as much ground as we possibly can with you. And I realize that some things will take a bit of explanation, okay? The second thing is, because of the way this hall is lined up, it's not good to have a long line. People won't be able to see it or block the site. We're going to ask you to cooperate. I'm going to ask you, Hillary, probably maybe to move over. We've got plenty of room. I think we've got about 90 minutes. We think we can get to everybody, and if we can't for some reason, as I said earlier, we'll stay around afterwards. But if you adhere to asking the questions, and we'll be as succinct and brief as we possibly can in our answers, but as thorough as possible, we can cover a lot of ground tonight. We know that from past experience. So I'm not sure who wants to come first. I ask you one more time. Let's retain. You don't have to raise your hand. Just come on up one at a time. You don't have to step all over each other. Just take your time. Let somebody ask a question, then come up. Okay? Look at this. I'm going to have to yell and scream to get my way. Okay? You don't have to form a line. I'll say it again. Sit down. Sit down. Please help us help you. And we'll go one at a time. I promise you. How's that? Does that work? It's really easy. But we're going to let this gentleman go first because he's going to meander up here. And he's got a cane. And, sir, I saw you raise your hand, and so you get to go first. How's that? But I promise you, we will get to you, folks. There you go, sir. We have to make sure this is on. Why don't you start with this, sir?
My name is Pila Short. My concern is with the Wahiawa swimming pool. For the last couple years, we've been swimming in a cold water swimming pool. And every year they tell us we're going to fix the heater. The last couple mayors came here and they assured us they're going to fix the heater. They came to the pool and shake our hand, tell us they guarantee the heater going to be fixed. And no, they never fixed the heater. But we want to swim, and we swim in the cold water. A lot of times everybody gets sick, but they still no fix the heater. A couple weeks ago, they turned the heater on. A couple days later, they turned the heater off because of the rules. They have to turn it off by a certain date. And the heater is run by butane. Why they use butane when it costs 3 times more than electricity? Now we have to wait till next year, a certain date, for them to turn it on. But yet in Manoa, it's nice and warm up in Manoa, and they get heat in their pool.
Thank you. Or like Kehau Poo, Deputy Director, Parks and Recreation.
Hi, thank you. Mahalo for your question. I did try and do some homework before I came here tonight. So regarding the pool, as you shared, we were informed that it was repaired in March, but we do only keep the pool heated November through March, and there's a discrepancy. You say it's butane. I was informed that it runs on electricity, and Parks has a really high electricity bill. We pay about $6 million every year for electric across the island, and the rates continue to increase. So this is, a huge concern for us. The system is outdated, though, the heating system that we have. So a couple things. One, acknowledging our system is old, but we are working to replace that. In the meantime, yes, the heater was repaired, but we did turn it off because it looks like November through March, those are the times that we keep it heated. And, we have electricity issues. I don't know that Manoa Pool is heated year round. We can follow up. We are about equity. So, so I would be appalled to hear that we keep one pool heated year round and not the Wahiawa pool. But I will do my homework and follow up, and that's what I have to share.
We'll get your contact information, and
Yeah.
we'll follow up with you specifically, and then some way, I guess, through the neighborhood board back. I will not be the third mayor, sir, to say we're going to fix it and not get it fixed. All right, but I will defer to Kehau to do the follow up, and we'll see what we can get done. Okay, I really appreciate that question, sir.
A little bit hard. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Just leave it over here for now. All right, just a couple of things. One is for Mililani and one is for Honolulu, actually. So, my name is Kurt. I'm a general contractor, remodeler, and I specialize in accessible design. So the majority of people I work with are kupuna and those with disabilities. One of the challenges is getting projects permitted that is more of a need than a want, right? So getting in your home, getting the tub out so you can go into access the shower, and so forth. I've been communicating with Dawn, she's been great. I mean, very communicative, really hands-on, which I appreciate.
So your question?
The question is, can we find a way to streamline the process for these types of accessible projects to where it is either reviewed separately or probably done certain guidelines that certain things are more allowed. And the other thing is within the city, and especially in Mililani where I live, you have a lot of trees that uproot sidewalks. And I do a lot with ADA things, and part of that is accessibility. So when you have a sidewalk, a public sidewalk that's not accessible, then ADA kicks in. And one of the challenges is when they fix these sidewalks, they don't make any alternate routes for anybody with any mobility devices, right? Which you're supposed to do when you cut off an accessible pathway. So if there's some kind of training that you could give your contractors that do these projects for you, that'd be really good.
I think we had a couple of departments to respond to that. Dawn first.
Yeah, so thank you. So first for the sidewalks, if you do have like an uplifted sidewalk, you can call DPP to go out to do the inspection, the assessment, and then we usually work with DFM to help make the repair. And me and Jean and I can talk more about what the alternative, while it's being repaired, what can happen so that, like you said, the access is still there. As far as the permitting of more accessible, I think that's a great idea. And again, I think that's something that we'll work on to have that special lane. But a lot of the initiatives that we're working on now, we have artificial intelligence that we're trying to develop. That's going to help a lot just in general for right now. It's concentrating on residential new additions and renovations. So I think that it's going to make a major difference across the board, and we'll see how that goes. And I think we will be able to have a special lane for, you know, renovations for accessibility. I know that generation, there's a lot of need for that. I hear it from others too, so that's something definitely in the future.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good way to do it, because when I look at everyone I'm here, I take count of how many is 50 and over, and it's about 20-something 50 and over, and only about 10 less than that, right? And then part of that, I served on the housing domain on age-friendly Honolulu, and part of that was to make it age-friendly for an aging community. And I have not seen much throughout the island, you know, but there's other ways of doing it. So hopefully this kind of moves through that.
Gene, is there anything you want to add to that? Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. With regards to the uplifted sidewalks, our DFM crew does do inspections, observations, and if they feel like there is a trip hazard, they'll go ahead and at least patch it so that they mitigate much of that trip hazard as an interim measure as we work with DPP to ultimately replace that uplifted sidewalk.
Now, do they have training on what is a trip hazard? Or is it just by their own judgment?
I would have to say that it's just by judgment.
Yeah, so
and
they
if
should
there
get
is a
some
concern,
training.
we can have this discussion
we can have
in
after.
terms of accessibility.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You know, it is, and I would imagine we might even hear tonight from somebody about trees and having more trees. But I can tell you, having come into office as a mayor over the last 3.5 years, one of the things you get in touch with is how many streets, how many sidewalks have been uprooted because whomever it was, when they planted the trees, since you brought up age, you know, some time ago, those smart guys planted trees with really aggressive root structures, you know, and nobody looked at that. We have an entire parking lot right next to Honolulu Hale that's going to go through a massive improvement because it sounded really cool to put all this grass on top of the roof and plant all these trees. It all really looked and sounded good until 30 years later, and those roots have eaten through all the cement and everything else, and that whole thing is going to get redone. We don't have enough manpower. Let me just be candid. We don't have enough manpower to fix all of that in the city. It is massive, okay? And so in Kapolei alone, this 50 miles of street with a lot of trees ripping up streets and sidewalks in Kapolei alone. So I just want to be realistic. We'll do the best we can. I'm all for guys getting training and whatever we need to do it right. It is not a simple project. Just you should, and you know that. You know that.
That's one thing good where you can maybe partner with a group like ARP who have seniors and volunteers that walk the neighborhoods all the time.
Yes. You know, just yesterday I took almost two days ago, Scott was with me, almost a bad fall in a hole. And I was really fortunate I didn't go down, but I tell you, it scared me. And I was really lucky. I was just able to catch my balance. I am really sensitive, given my age especially, and a lot of my peers, falls and what it does. So when you talk about this, I'll tell you, I promise you we take it most seriously. I'm just telling you it is a big, big problem. Okay? All right, next up. Go ahead.
Hi, Mayor. This question is for you.
Oh.
I'm here to ask for a satellite city hall for Mililani. Here's a map. The current satellite city hall in Wahiawa that services everything from Waipio all the way to Mokulea and over to Kahuku, I think. And I was up there a couple weeks
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Jim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I
Jim,
just would like when you folks come up, if you could just say your name. You don't have to say your last name.
I'm a retired Army officer.
Okay,
I've
Jim.
also spent some time in HPD. In the 124th recruit class when Chief Logan was probably still in high school. So that's my age statement. That's my age statement.
All right.
Anyway, so the current satellite city hall, besides getting in the way of D2, is when I was up there, it was a cattle drive. And I stood in line, then I made an appointment, then I came back, and then I've got to make another trip back to transfer my combat veteran plates to my new old car.
Okay.
And so, you know, Mililani is about 28,000, Wahiawa is about 18,000, and it's just onerous to try to get something done. And I think with as a big tax base in Mililani, I think it would be great. I think we deserve
That's a great suggestion.
City hall.
I know you're asking the question of me. Mike, is there anything you want to say, or will we go right to Kim? Kim, Let her, and then I'll try to answer as
I have a
well.
map for her also.
Thank you.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Thank you.
And I have some more. And I have backup here, too. Councilwoman Okamoto is here. She's backing me up, and so is, where's Representative?
Jim.
Jim,
we got it.
Okay, where's
We
my
got it.
representative? There's my representative back there.
All right.
Matsumoto.
We got it. Okay, Jim. No, I think everything you said was accurate
That
as
has
far
my-
as the facts.
That
Good,
has my
Jim.
contact
Oh,
information.
okay.
That's better. And then
All right.
you guys can have that one.
Okay, so thank you, Jim, for bringing this up and for also highlighting how important satellite city halls are for the community. We're really glad that services provided are helping and that you actually want expansion. And right now we have 9 locations, and they are spread out across the island. And we actually have not talked about expansion before, but I really see the value in trying to provide and place satellites, wherever there are large communities. So we'll definitely
Wahiawa
take a look at
services,
that.
it's half of the geography of the whole island.
Yeah.
So I think we deserve another one. There's a lot of space in Mililani, the old bank buildings, and that would make perfect locations for that. And we could unsettle that area that's taken up D2. That probably still needs to stay in place, but I think we just need an additional satellite city hall.
Okay, so thank you for your suggestion, and we'll definitely take a look at it.
Thanks.
If I could just say one thing editorially. In my former life as general manager at Hawaii News Now, if we ever had a slow day in news, all we did was send the camera crew down to DMV to talk to all the disgruntled people. And there were lots of them. And they were colorful, okay? Our first order of business was to correct that, not only at DMV, but throughout our satellite city halls. And Kim is very modest, but we have made DMV a pleasurable experience for most people. So I take the request most serious. But the first order of business was to figure out, and part of it was with people, part of it was with technology, but it's a very efficient experience. And one of the not rare, but one of the unusual compliments that I get out of sometimes anywhere I am is people will say, and I went to DMV and I was expecting to go through this awful experience, and I was blown away at how efficient it was. So I'm just letting you know I feel good about where we are. Expansion of this area, all of that makes sense. I promise you, Jim, we will look at that. We'll have discussions in earnest because we are aware, fortunately, parts of our are now growing. And that's a really important point. Thank you. Ma'am, you're up.
Okay.
You're up.
Hi. Liz McCarthy. I actually have a couple things, but I'll direct to you first. I actually wrote you a letter, but didn't get a response. I wanted to invite you to come on a tour of Wahiawa, especially Avocado Street, that has 2 abandoned buildings that are being taken over by the homeless and a lot of drug activity. It's been 2 years I've brought it up. Nothing's done. I would like some of the money that we all have on this island to come to Wahiawa. Not just Honolulu, not just Waikiki, not just everywhere. Wahiawa needs an uplift, and we need to be seen. So that's my number one thing. My
Okay,
second,
well, let's go one at a time.
Okay.
Liz, I promise you, I did not get that letter. But
Okay.
that's because there are people who intercept these things and then send it somewhere else. But I have seen the pictures. And tonight, Scott Humber, who's in the back of the room, I should have introduced our communications team, went out there tonight to look at those. And the pictures I have are actually dated. And the first thing I did when we were talking today about what was going to happen tonight, said, why don't we just condemn these? You know, one of the things we're going to do, because we've done 1 or 2 condemnations already, and Don's here. I'm all for that. I don't think that should happen. Look, we're here tonight respecting Wahiawa as the place. I mean, believe me, we're trying to be as inclusive as possible. So I hear what you're saying. We're going to look at those very, very aggressively. I promise you that, because you're right. It's not just an ugly.
It is ugly.
It ends up housing, not even homeless. There's criminal activity that goes on and all kinds of other. It's not good for a community.
No,
and we know that, okay?
But the next thing I'd like to ask is, what are we doing? Our homeless situation is getting worse. And we had a bunch of homeless move 2 streets from where children live, families live.
Yes.
What are we doing to help these people? I feel like since Chinatown, more have come.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
All right, well, we
And
have
we
a
need
great...
to have a safe community.
We have some really good plans on homeless. I'm going to actually answer that as well, but I want Jim Ireland, Dr. Jim Ireland,
Okay.
to talk a little bit about first. But I can tell you that homelessness at one point in time might have been confined to certain areas.
Yes.
Especially in the urban core, and we've done a lot of cleanup with that, but we also understand what that created. And I know Anton's not here tonight, but Sam is here, and we have him speak as well. Thank you, Mike. But it's become pervasive now. It's not just in Wahiawa, where
No, I
suddenly
know
you didn't
that.
see it. It's in Hawaii. It's in places where
I
it
know
wasn't
that.
before.
I know that.
So it's pervasive. Just to give you a macro view of that, estimated on the last point in time count, there are about 4,000 homeless on the island of Oahu. 2,000 of those are sheltered currently. The other 2,000 are unsheltered. The challenge with the unsheltered is we've done a really good job with women and children and a good job with our veterans. Those numbers are down. What that did was shift the demographic to who's out there, and it's mostly guys. More than 50% have been on the street for more than 10 years, and a very high percentage, if not all of them, are either mentally ill or suffering from some form of serious addiction. Not easy to deal with. Requires medical treatment, requires aggressivity on our part about how we're going to treat that to get them off the streets. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim, and I'll come back and answer it. And I want Sam to tell you some stuff, because Sam is working very closely and what we're doing with the state, because of the significance of this problem, which is unprecedented, what we're making happen.
But I thank you for that, but let me just say something. I don't feel safe riding a bike or walking in my community.
I understand that,
I will
Liz.
not let my granddaughter walk to a coffee shop.
I understand that.
But I just want you to know that we have a problem.
We do, we do. And I would tell you, and not just because Chief Logan is here tonight, we have a lot of priorities in the city. The overarching number one priority, I promise you this, is public safety. I promise you that. If you can't feel safe where you live, then we are failing, okay? And that's not a good feeling, and you don't deserve that. The community doesn't deserve that, and we understand the call to action that that represents. It's not just treating the homeless individual who needs help. It's what the repercussions of that is and what it means to a community. We understand that. So, Jim.
Sure. Thank you for that question. In addition to EMS, I do have the Crisis Outreach Response Engagement Team, core team, in my department, and it's new. And we did start in Chinatown. And what people who are in Chinatown tell me is probably 50 to 70% of the homeless that were there 2 years ago are no longer there. So it's, quote, better. But we've realized, though, that that success hasn't been experienced around the rest of the island. Some went to shelter, some went back to the mainland, some went to treatment, and some moved. I don't think the ones from Chinatown moved here. They moved more into Mililani and that direction. The other thing that I found is there's encampments and homeless across the island, but in areas like West Oahu, North Shore, and probably to an extent in Wahiawa, the population is from the area. They were maybe born and raised here and have roots to that community. So we would not necessarily be successful if we went out to Waianae or even Wahiawa and tried to move people into a shelter in let's say, Iwalei. So what we're focused on now is, now that we know that we can make an impact like we did in Chinatown, the core team is going out to other communities. There's a core hotline. I can give you that number. I don't have it memorized.
Jim, why don't you explain CORE for a second?
So what CORE does is it's community health workers and emergency medical technicians that focus on the kind of the psychosocial and medical aspects of homelessness. They gain trust with the people, and then they offer them the different resources we have. We don't have enough small house villages and shelters on Oahu now, but that's changing. And I think my prediction is over the next 6 months, we're going to see more in this area being done on Oahu than we have in the last many, many years. Part of that was derailed a little bit by COVID. But, you know, the mayor and me and our team in the city, we're meeting every week on this. We're meeting with the governor and his team. So there's this unprecedented synergy that's happening. And so I really do predict over the next 6 months, you're going to see a lot more. Now, we're going to have to use other tools.
Let me intercept a little bit, just to keep you in track. The core unit is a first for us, which we set up. What we did was we looked at best practices around the country, saying somebody out there is doing a good job with homelessness. It's not overtaking everything. And we looked at the cities that got the most publicity were Houston, Denver, Boston, and Eugene, Oregon, top 4. And we looked at that, and it all began with having a mobile crisis unit. Prior to this, prior even coming into office, and I dealt with this a lot at Hawaii News Now, you know, somebody would make a 911 call. That 911 call would get dispatched to EMS, which already has a shortage of ambulances, and HPD. They would then go out to the scene. The police would determine whether there was anything criminal. They would typically usually leave. The EMS would either clean them on the street or take them to Queens, where they would clean them up, put a bandage on or whatever, and then turn them back out a couple of hours later into the street because they had no room to hold them. That was coming at not only a tremendous cost to Queens, but it wasn't dealing systemically with the problem. So CORE is a mobile crisis unit. We have 5 ambulances and 6 SUVs, currently 35 people, made up of healthcare physicians, doctors, other people. We want to expand to 50 so we can do more island-wide coverage that allows us to intercept those 911 calls to the greater good for the city, to get out there and directly treat these people. And as Jim said, one of the things that they do is, you know, all these people have a story, as tough as they may be. And so part of it is getting to know them. They build trust. They gain some equity because we can't necessarily take people on involuntary holds. We just can't do that. There's some circumstances in which you could do that if a person's going to harm themselves, but this is that. But having the capability to start with that, then I want Jim to tell you about what we're doing for facilities. You just alluded to it because we are acquiring facilities, okay? And so we can do that. Where the X factor comes in, and maybe Sam will talk about it, is our partnership with the state. The Department of Health rests with the state. The monies that the Department of Health has and the programs that the governor has and what we're doing to create the synergy here has been the X factor. Who are the people who are going to take care of these people? And that's what we're funding now. And those 3 things are going to come together, which is why Jim is saying over the next 6 months, because I can promise you, you know, well, we're actually out here in Wahiawa. We've got a facility out here. Isn't there? Yeah. We are.
So our number.
Go ahead, Jim.
Our number is 768 CORE, right?
CORE.
CORE. If you call that, it's not an emergency line. They're not going to come out in 5 minutes, but they'll log the call and they'll be out within 48 hours. So if there's an encampment, if there's people, but what we want to do is we want to get the people who have medical and psychological needs help in either medical respite or a shelter, and then what will be left is the criminality, because they're hiding amongst people who just have problems. And when we get the folks out who want help, and we will, if we can and have to, we will use involuntary holds, because people are a danger to themselves. They're, you know, extremely mentally ill. We will put them on an involuntary hold. But once we get those folks situated in a safe area, what's left is the criminals, and then that's where our partners with HPD take care of those folks. With respect to facilities, I think I'm going to just let Sam talk about that, because he's kind of been instrumental in getting that piece of the puzzle that we really were missing. So.
I didn't want to take that much time.
No, Liz, I'm going to ask you a favor. Anybody else talking to the microphone, because we're televising
I don't want
this?
to take up so much time.
No, you know what? Because homelessness is a big issue.
Okay.
You know, and it relates to everybody here, because it's not just you not feeling safe.
All right.
And I think we want to cover this. One of the things I am going to ask, though, is once we cover a topic, we're going to try to do it as in depth as possible.
Okay.
We don't want to stay on the same topics. We want to have a variety. But this is a big one.
Okay.
And we've done 2 research studies lately. And even though 4,000 people represents way less than 1% of our population, it's in everybody's face. And it's in everybody's face because people don't feel safe. And we get the importance and the significance of that. Okay? Sam.
So what I'll do is I'll just share my partnership with John Mizuno, who's at the state side. I have called him. Well, we talk basically almost every day about our homeless situation. And I did let him know that we'll be coming out to Wahiawa. And I asked him if there's a way that we can offer kauhales out in Wahiawa. And I think that is one of the big steps that we are going to be working on, because the state has basically a lot of money for our homeless efforts.
Why don't you describe the kauhales for everybody, because they might not be familiar with the concept.
Right. So the kauhales, the state has embarked on building kind of these tiny homes. Yeah. And if you haven't seen, I have one on my side of the island, which is Kaneohe. There's a kauhale, about 30 units. They're fenced in. They're not like, not in my backyard kind of thing. the service providers help provide those homeless services for, anything. Can be drug addiction. They're at a certain level of where they can find permanent housing. So there's one in Kaneohe, there's one in Middle Street, I should say, by Nimitz. There's also going to be another one in Kalihi. So they're coming out into our communities. Homeless is in my community, it's in this community, it's in Kailua. And so my ask is, and what I've also done is I've actually called a bunch of the churches around here. And just to get a sense, because I know a lot of the churches here, they go out and they feed the homeless and they want to help. So I'm asking the churches if they also could help. Well, not me, but myself and John Mizuno had a call with all of the churches to ask if they can kokua with the homeless efforts. The property that the city has is 360 California Ave. This one will be more for families and children. There's about 26 rooms. It's maybe about the only thing we need to do is put a little chairlift to make it work. And what do you think? By summer, at least by summer, maybe before the end of the year, this facility will be open, and so we'll be able to house homeless families and children. So,
but that's one type of person, and let me just expand a little bit on the churches, because feeding them is not exactly what we want. We don't want to enable and make it easier to stay out in the streets, try to get them off the streets. So the ask of the churches is for land. We want them to put kauhalis on the church property. That's what we're asking. That's provocative, because it's one thing if they want to go out and food and provide blankets, but we need their help to put these places. And what Sam is talking about also includes facilities where they can wash and bathrooms or whatever. We can also give them care. So that's one thing, and the governor's got several hundred of those. We've got a number of them already here and more on order, and there's things we're going to be doing in the urban core with that. We want to take away as many tops and those pallets and everything else that you see and deal with that. And then again, I don't want to speak for Chief Logan, and Sam alluded to it as well. We've made several hundred arrests of the criminal element. One of the things that was really revealing to us is how many of the really bad people are hiding out in the homeless community. And we've done a lot of that. Not every one of them is incarcerated. We now have them fully identified. We know who they are, and we're just working on it. But I think you're going to see between our work with it, because the governor is going to provide these healthcare workers that we need on site. That's what you need. You can put them in. They don't really want to go in. Let me tell you what the hardest part is. They don't like rules. They don't like rules. It's flat out. Okay? And so there's a lot to overcome there, Liz. But yes, I know. But I'm not saying we can't deal with that. We can deal with it, and we will. Just don't forget Avocado Street. We won't, Liz. We won't. As we're knocking it down, I want you out there clapping. Good. Talk into the microphone, please.
I actually have a meeting with the police commissioner on Wednesday, and we have a very big problem with dirt bike riders on Rose Street, racing down our street, going on private military property, going on private school, and our policemen were told to call 911, and they keep telling us they can't do anything. Why are we allowing, I'm talking 40, 50 every day, every single day, speeding down our road, popping wheelies, going on sidewalks, making noise, being disrespectful? Why are we allowing, actually one child told me some really bad stuff came out of his mouth for me asking him to slow down, but they say they can't catch us. So shame, I want to know why you can't allow the police to take care of children doing things they're not allowed to do. They're on a motorcycle, they're not licensed for it. I'm talking 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds speeding down the road on a motorcycle. Why are they're on California Ave popping wheelies?
I understand. Thank you very much for the question. What I would ask, not from you, but from the parents who are out there who have these things for their kids, and Keiki, why are you allowing them to do that? Why are you allowing them, and what are you not paying attention to allow your kids out there? We only have so many officers. We have to be very careful. It's not that we're not doing anything. We have to be very careful that if we get into a pursuit with one of these individuals on a motorcycle
I've
or
heard that
e-bike,
story a
and
lot.
what's going to happen?
But
They're going to get into an accident, right? And then they're injured, right? And then we're going to deal with all of that. The parents are going to be upset because we pursued them, right?
Yes.
And they're going to blame us for that, right? And I get you. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We need to work together as a community. We can't solve the problem all by ourselves, but believe me, trust me, I've seen it in Mililani where I live, and so we need to do something about it, absolutely. Bicycles are one thing for exercise. E-bikes, I'm not sure what the point of those are, because they're not exercise.
Well, you just had
They
a
got engines on
12-year-old
them.
in
They're
Eva that just got
he
very
just got
hurt.
hit.
Yeah.
Although we have to figure out why he was crossing the street in a crosswalk on a bike. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to walk it through, right? You're not supposed to ride through. So there's a lot of violations going on.
Yes.
Right. And how do we do that?
Yes.
Right. And we have, staffing issues. We have high priority cases we have to go to. We can't be everywhere all the time. But I understand your question. The captain and I have had a long conversation.
Okay, could I just
on
say
the way
one
up
more
here.
thing, though? No. Okay.
Yeah. You've been talking.
They
for
love you, Liz.
17
Thank you,
years.
Chief.
So we are working. I thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
We are going to work on this. I will make
But
sure
please
we
do.
will do
We're
something.
tired
about it.
of it. Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
All right, thank you, Liz. All right, who's up next? Young man. You're up, sir.
Aloha mai kako. Mahalo. My name is Nathan Nahina.
David?
Nathan Nahina.
Nathan. Okay.
First of all, I'd like to start out. I'm going to give you the question, and I'm going to give you some whys and what we can also provide to hopefully see this project go through. So I'm trying to get a proposal to improve and expand the Wahiawa skate park. We got the smallest one on the island, and I wanted to show of hands. There's a lot of people that came for this issue, but even if you just agree to it, we have the smallest one on the island, and we deserve better. All these hands right there, they would like to see it, and a lot of them are kids. Mike Keiki will come up here pretty soon. His name is Kahio. He goes to Hawaii Elementary School in Palolo. We have a long day. Everybody has a long day. Everybody works here, you know what I mean? So this is already really hard to find the time to come, so I appreciate everybody coming, specifically for that project. And then I just wanted to give you a little bit background of why. The amount of space that the place that they have the skate park in was a playground very long time ago. So they try to repurpose space for a playground with a skate park, and a skate park is dynamic. It's different etiquette. It's dangerous, right? So we just need more space, period, to be safe, for one. I think everybody can agree to that. And also work with people and nonprofits that have experience building quality parks, because I'm trying to make sure that people know the benefits of skate parks, and they're not like basketball parks or basketball fields and stuff like fields. See, I'm mixing my words.
It's all right,
But
Nate.
they
You're doing a
have-
good job. We're following you.
They have 10 feet rims, and they're regulation size. Skate parks is there's a great architectural art to this, because it's unique structures that can provide unique experiences. Skateboarders travel the island, so if you build a quality skate park, people from all around the communities elsewhere, that's what people from they came from Kaneohe, people came from Waimanalo or Waianae. I know plenty of people over here that came because of that. And it's like surfing, like different breaks provide different experiences, yeah. So trying to teach people about that uniqueness about skateboarding, and we all love supporting local businesses, so that's going to be a boost to the economy here also. And then a quality skate park is going to allow more community events, like nonprofits to hold contest circuits that used to happen back in the day. The one that we have is just too small to even do that. I tried to gather today, but it started raining, because I wanted to show how it looks with more than 5 people in that park. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Yep. All right, let's have KO take it. This is not unfamiliar to us. Let's start off with KO's answer, and Nate, you can stay up there. Okay?
Hi, aloha, and
Aloha.
I don't know if you'll like my answer. First, I was briefed a little bit about the skate park, so I want to let you know that we want to do some repaving. I believe we're going to try and do that in May, because I was told that it's rough and bumpy. This is the first I've heard of it being the smallest skate park. I didn't know that, and that you folks want to expand and we would love to support that. If, at Kailua, there was a skate park. I can't remember the name of the company, but they
808
basically.
Skate, we have their support too. So that's the Association of Skateboarders in Hawaii. Chuck Mitsui helped with the Kailua Rec. He also helped design the Kaneohe Park, Kahuku. And then I also have backing from Chad from APB, which helps with the Makiki A'ala Skate Park. That are civil engineers too. So we have, I'm in touch with people that have track records with the city and having success. I did a quick measurement. It's about 3,000 square feet that our park is. Mililani, just right next door, is 9,000. So just to give you.
How big would you like one?
Huh?
How big would you like it? If we could just.
Big as,
10,000?
big as you will give us.
Well, no, I'm just curious. I mean,
there's a section next to the pool that could be extended because not much things happen in the I know of. It could double it to hopefully maybe around 6,000 feet, which is feasible, I think. And then because the space itself, even just a concrete slab, we'll be happy to, like, we're respectful out here, you know what I mean? Even though, like, the space is the main thing for me, I think, or for us.
So on the city side, to do an expansion like that, that would be a capital improvement project. And so we work with our Department of Design and Construction, Haku over here, on those kinds of projects. And, we have lots of capital improvement projects. They include our gyms, our roofs, our base yards, all of those things. So I just want to, be real about it would be looked at alongside a lot of our other capital improvement projects. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding, but if you have some support, like, if we're looking, these organizations are looking to help donate or help to construct it.
Yep.
That would be amazing. So we love partnerships.
We want to partner. Yeah, we
love partnerships. So Kailua was done through a partnership. We are, working with AES Kahuku on a partnership to help plan and design our pool at Kahuku. We're working with Kaiser Permanente. They want to donate a playground. So we would love to, we have a process, we have something to follow. So we would love to work with your group to do that. And, it could probably happen a lot faster if we have.
We could raise money from the private. How much, Nate, does a skate park with 10,000 square feet cost, if we just new constructioned it?
I know that Mililani was like around 9,000. I heard it was almost $1 million to fund. Does everybody know exactly?
Expensive sport. That's not easy.
Yeah, but there's 6,000. It depends what you put in there. They had a lot of digging. And the space won't cost as much as that. There's ways that per budget you can design in a way to maximize space.
Let's establish kind of along the lines of what Chief Logan said, and really quite honestly, whether there's not enough police for things or how much government can do. There are a lot of private sector, and especially where somebody just said it takes for a lot of people, right? It's a big community thing. Maybe we can go out and find an underwriter. American Savings Bank had everything to do with the Ala Park skate thing. They did a really good job there. Maybe there's some people we could talk to as a community in the private sector to help fund that. Look, $1 million is a lot of money, but make the right ask to the right people, things become feasible. Maybe we should talk about that as an initiative, and then we could support it. Because I would tell you, as a capital improvement project, it would be standing in line for a while based on all the demands. So maybe we should try to see if we can't do a public-private sector and do that. And I will actually help you as mayor. I will help you on this and see what we can possibly do. Because I love the fact, this is the opposite of what Liz was talking about, kids doing wheelies out in the street and endangering themselves. I love the fact if we can find facilities where people can engage in healthy activities like that. It makes a lot of sense.
That's another thing, there's another angle to that as well, is making a track down here instead of Kahuku. But that's another thing. That's just a thing. That's whatever.
We weren't going to put a track in Kahuku, but that's okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
All right.
But anyways, but sorry for getting off track. I wanted to bring up my son too real quick. Kahio, so this is Kahio Nahina. He's my boy. I just wanted to ask him a question, just because this is how one of the
Yes.
whys for me.
Good.
I feel bad to ask him if he thinks he deserves this small skate park. You know what I mean? Like everybody else got way bigger and nicer.
Well, we
ones,
didn't
so-
build a small skate park.
I know. I'm
don't
just
even-
saying.
I don't even know
that
how
we-
it got
we can,
there.
We can come in with
Okay.
solutions and not just complaining.
All right.
So,
okay.
Kahil, if you were to skate, would you rather go to Wahiawa Skate Park or Mililani?
Depends on the weather.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I didn't tell him what to say, so hey. Okay. If it's sunny, then what?
Skate Wahiawa.
Okay, he's just proud to be from Wahiawa, okay? But this guy.
Oh yeah,
All right,
people.
look, let's
Thank
get to the next. Nate, you've made your case. Let's
trying to be
make. I'm
honest.
saying this publicly. Let's see if we can make an effort to find out about this, and let's see if we can ask some of the businesses in town who really want to make a difference. You know, so many of the business leaders we talk to right now concerned about out-migration. And a lot of the pressure that we feel in the city's role to try to help create and build housing so people can live here is a big topic with us. You know, and I can tell you this. I told you earlier last year, 11 districts, we learned a lot. Each of the districts, as you've seen here already tonight, we've got about 45 minutes to go, have their own issues. But there are certain common denominators that we discovered last year amongst all the districts, and one of them was how people play. Okay? Now that's manifested itself, as Kehau just talked about having, you know, a pool in Kahuku. That whole side of the island has never had a pool. You know, and what that means for all the water sports that go out there. I'm hearing you about your skate park. We got it. We'll make contact tonight. I promise you, in front of all these people. And not being the guy that said he left already about the pool guy. No, he's there. Not being a mayor say we're going to fix it or whatever. We'll try to see if we can't raise the money to do it, because I think that's the best way to get it done.
Can we
For
get
all
an
the emotional
approval?
reasons.
I just don't know the process. I would love to talk to someone about the process. I heard we have to get approval before even trying to do funding. How can...
That's
and what-
not true.
What does... Okay. So it's approved then.
Look, I think any... No, Daddy, you're wrong. Okay.
Hey,
So
quick learner.
I mean, come on. Look. Let's be reasonable, okay? Well, you're talking about that kind of approvals with drawings and everything else. But I would tell you, you can facilitate things if you get the money. So how you pay for it is the first question I typically ask.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to tell you is hearing what Kehal said and knowing the long line of thing. Remember what I said at the outset tonight? We'll answer your questions to the best of our ability, and we don't want to deceive you. I would tell you, if you really want to get it done and get it done faster, we should try to explore whether or not we could develop and find $1 million from a private sector party to give us the leverage in trying to get it approved. It can't be that hard to design and build. Sir, you coming up to support Nate?
I just want to say this. Hi, my name is Donovan.
Hi, Donovan.
Me and a few guys, you know, we own businesses, Rising Tide Tattoos. There's a lot of small businesses here that will come up with the money with fundraisers, whatever we can do.
Wow.
So that the
There you
kids
go.
Make the GoFundMe tonight.
I love that. Donovan, I love that. I love that. In fact, I believe that, and that's kind of a point I wanted to make. And we've made this throughout a lot of different communities when it comes to things like Neighborhood Watch and some of the circumstances and things. And in fact, I would even bring that up on the kids. I don't know why a community, if they got people, kids out there, you're on with the parents, which Chief said makes a lot of sense. Why not out there telling the kids to just stop it? You can own your neighborhood. And there are a lot of neighborhoods around the island that are doing precisely that. And as long as you're not, hurting them, you can take that initiative. But I like what you just said. I think that's possible. And if we could talk to major funders and say we'll also get community support, that even makes it more encouraging. So, guys, I want to move on. I think we've covered this topic. Nate, I'm going to stay here. Thank you. Okay? All right, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name is Neil Honda.
Neil?
Yeah.
Neil.
Please remember 123 Mango Street. As you go home, go stop by 123 Mango Street. It's the new homeless hangout, drugs, crime, and everything. How did it get there? A company 7-8 years ago named Alea Bridge achieved zero, bought the property. They got grants from federal, state, city. And they had cars, trucks, you name it, vehicles. And well, 6 months ago, they said they ran out of money. Now it's a homeless hangout. It's always been there 7 years. I've been battling it. My mom was 101. She was living next door. It's a total mess. So 123 Mango Street. Go check it out. Officer, it's crazy. It's crazy. The guy's making fire on the porch, and nothing's being done. Ma'am, the buildings were brought in from HCC in the middle of the night in November. No permit. A year and a half later, DPP gave them a permit to transport the building. It's crazy. So I did call you, sir, and I did write you a letter. So I'm going to hand this to you of my complaint again, but it's a mess. And hopefully next week you guys will come up, clean it up, and it will be gated up so the homeless won't be there and things. I appreciate your time.
Yep. No, thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a look at it, and even avocado.
Representatives, senators, I hope the governor,
Yeah.
everybody, but
Yeah.
everybody says that.
You have to go to the microphone.
Thank you very much.
No, yeah, thank you. And then even Avocado Street. So we're working with HPD on.
Way home, stop at 123 Mango Street,
Right.
across from that recycling thing. It's a mess, man.
Yeah, so we're trying to coordinate with HPD. We have our ability to, for abandoned homes and overgrown. So that's DPP's responsibility, but we're partnering with HFD and HPD to kind of come down hard with fines and other things that make the landowner react. And so that's something new and different that will hopefully make an impact. And then as Mayor had mentioned, in certain instances, we go for condemnation, which is a longer process, but that's how we take control of the property and get some results.
Thank you, Don. Next question. We covered skateboarding.
Yep.
Okay.
But there's actually other concerns for other parks. So there isn't anything, or first of all, I'm Cody. I am a small business owner in Wahiawa.
Hi,
So
Cody.
there isn't anything that Nate didn't cover that I can't match. So we got this guy.
This kind of goes to the
Yeah.
other part.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten
Want
to
to give him this
response.
microphone?
Oh, okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My mommy is vice president of A1 Electrician, and she emailed several people, and she hasn't heard anything. Her company is willing to do the work, but we need the electrical plans to get light at Mililani Skate Park.
Well, thank you. Can we read that again?
Yeah, so
Dad?
my wife's family business is A1A Electric.
Okay.
She's emailed several people. She's only heard back from Lauren Matsumoto. And so all we really need is the plans so we
For?
can install the lights at the skate park. And they have
At
everything
the existing
there.
skate park?
Yeah, they have everything there. They have the wires, they have the but it was
Okay.
never installed. And the company is willing to do the work.
I heard you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Can we say, yeah. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing up your son. All right, I got that.
So yeah, I've been lighting up the skate parks for the past 4.5 years or so. I bring my own generator, I bring my own lights. I was doing it twice a week for every week for the past 4.5 years, like I said. And
Yeah.
this is out of my own pocket, my own time. And I do
All
have a
right.
son. His name is Osiris. He's sitting over there. Come here, bud, real quick. So that was my motivation.
Okay.
So Easy Skate Co. is his first two letters of his name, so easy. But our whole purpose was just to keep kids out of trouble
Sure.
at night. And that's why we provided that outlet. And like I said, I did it all through love of
Well.
skating. I didn't plan none of it. Everything was organic. It just happened. And now we're here today, and just to even stand in front of you guys is an honor. I just want to make sure that we're being heard.
Yes.
Because, like I said, we are an army. Like, there is obviously a lot of us
Well,
here. And
Cody,
they're
I
all
love
here
that.
to support from all parts of the island. There's people from Waianae, there's people from the east side, there's people from here.
Right.
And we're all here for the same purpose. And Mililani is one of the parks that I focused on when I lit up the park because, like they said, there's the power box, there's the infrastructure, there's the wires, and that was the main reason why I chose that park.
Okay.
And I'm also from Mililani. So
Okay.
what can you guys do to help these companies that are willing to provide the services? That's my question.
All right. So Chamara, where are you, Chamara? Chamara's going to get all of your information, Cody, We're going to follow up with you guys, okay?
All right.
We'll help make this happen, all right? We will.
So yeah, just rebuilding Wahiawa and Mililani lights.
I get it. Sir.
Also, we had one more question. Go
ahead.
You know how certain parks have like a bench, like a memorial, like a dedication bench?
Yes.
We were wondering how we can get one put at the skate park for our friend Nick that passed away. He was like a local legend there. So we just didn't know how to get that done as well.
Okay, this is about a park bench. I know we're able to do that.
Yeah, we have a bench donation program.
Okay.
So, yeah. So tomorrow's walk, so we would love to engage. And
We can help with that.
Yeah, we have benches. They usually have a plaque. It goes through city council for donation. And so
It's not even a lot
Shamara
of money.
is walking around and gathering information. We also have somebody specific from parks because we go tomorrow and we'll make all our notes. But, you know, all of you who are willing to kokua and donate and want to improve and expand, we would love to work with all of you, and we can give you more
Yeah, since
info
I've
on the
been mayor,
beach program.
that particular thing has come up a couple of different times. I know people have been successful because they were so blown away at their ability to do that for wives and husbands. So I know that's very doable. I also think getting the electricity is going to be very doable, especially, I missed his first name, with his son. Yeah, in fact, I know a little bit about your company, so you guys are really reputable, so we can see what we get done. I know, Haku, I shouldn't be saying that, but I'm sure if we have a willing partner, we can figure it out. Hello, she's raising her hand. She want to say something? No? Okay. All right, next, please. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jo Ellen Reynolds, and I'm a retired commander from the Navy and certified nurse midwife. And I am very proud to be here because this is wonderful to have all you guys here to answer our questions and what have you. I have a couple of things, and I'm going to be very, very brief. One of them is the Wahiawa traffic is awful, and I'm hoping somebody will fix this, and I don't need an answer. That's number one. Number two is healthcare. I noticed you have all these people, but nobody was identified as in charge of women's health care here on Oahu. So that's number two. Number three, it would be wonderful if we started planting trees that are fruit trees as opposed to ornamentals or whatever, because we live on an island that if the boats don't come, we're going to be starving to death. So planting fruit trees. There's a place on Meheula and Kuaheilani that just had some trees planted, and I thought, why didn't they plant an avocado tree or a mango tree? Okay, the last one is the Mililani fire. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I was driving up H2 and I saw the fire in the distance at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I drove up to the cemetery, the Mililani Cemetery, which I do a lot of work there. And I realized, oh my God, it's not in the cemetery, which is what I thought, but it's out in the distance. So I called 911 and said, there's a fire. And they put me through to the fire station, and the fire station, the man who answered the phone for the fire said, it's already been put out at 11 o'clock. And I know it hadn't been put out, and he didn't believe me, and he said, we'll only send somebody else there if somebody else calls us after you hang up. I said to them, wouldn't it be nice if you were able to see a picture of what I'm looking at in the distance? And he says, we don't have that ability. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice if the fire department had the ability to see what we're actually looking at? And that's all I want to say.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let Chief Simone get that. I don't know how to address the Wahiawa traffic. And chances are that's, a lot of those roads that you're traveling on, I hate to say this in any of our meetings, it's a state issue when it comes to the roads. I don't know, John, if there's anything you want to offer on that or anybody. I mean,
Ma'am, where did you go? Right here. Oh, okay. I can catch up with you on the side. I know when we talk about traffic in Wahiawa. I'm sure everybody here knows of an intersection that would be benefited if we would just fix the lights to be green for them. But we're not going to do that. But I'll follow up with you right after this, and I can get a better sense of, where you're talking about. But just, some food for thought.
Okay,
I think
that's good enough.
Okay.
All right. You know what? Because I want to move. Just take it on the side. Women's health care is, again, the state has a Department of Health. Okay, and from that standpoint, an office like that, a cabinet position like that, perhaps would be there. That doesn't mean. If you look here, we've got a fair amount of women in key leadership positions. I can promise you, we have a high regard for women. But that's not anything that was part of our charter or agreement or whatever else. But that doesn't mean we're not sensitive and aware. Remember, we're a team that came in during the middle of the pandemic. You heard Kim tonight talk from OER about in Jordana about women out of the workforce and what things that we're doing, help with economic revitalization, child care. All this is unprecedented. The city wasn't doing that. We try to find our role and what we can do to help be supportive of women, but we don't have the capability or the capacity because we're not the Department of Health. On the last one, I'll let Chief Samal. I can't attest or I'm not going to, I can't imagine that you heard that, but I can say one thing about what went on in Mililani, because Mililani happened in October, if I believe, right? 2 months after the wildfires in Lahaina. And a lot was learned in what happened in Lahaina. This was a wildfire that was up in the mountains, that was done primarily by air. You heard me acknowledge, the general earlier tonight. We had Chinooks and Blackhawks in cooperation with our firefighter department. It took 40 days to extinguish that fire. But that fire was under control very quickly, despite how aggressive it was. I'll let Chief talk about that, but I can promise you, if there's anything I can say with great certainty, the response of our first responders, whether they be EMS, our police, or our firefighters, despite all the other challenges we have, is really good. So, Chief, I don't know what you want to say about that call or anything about that fire.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to thank you for the question. Of the 11 town halls that we had last year and the fourth one this year, this is the first question that fire was ever asked. So I think I won the bet with my staff. I apologize for how the operator had responded to you. I'm not sure. I'll look into it. We have recordings on file, so we can go look into it. It's a little unusual that they would ask that of you, right, or say that to you. Normally, if it's a confirm, right, usually signs of smoke or any kind of indication that there's flame, we're going to at least send the company out to investigate, right? So. They said it had already been put out. Yeah. So I mean, do you know what day or how long the fire was going on, or it was the first day? Yeah. So I'll go ahead and investigate on our side. So again, I apologize for that, and I'll speak a little bit more to the Mililani fire. And I really want to thank the general for being here. After the Lahaina fires, really, everyone was extremely sensitive. We were always, we thought that we were good at responding, and we still are good at responding, but it really forced us to take a deep dive into what we do, and more our partnerships with the other agencies, right? And so the Mililani fire was a good way to test that partnership because we had all agencies involved. We had the USG Forestry, we had the military involved. The governor stepped in, and he was even going to send one of those big airplanes down here that they fight in the the mainland wildfires. At that point, we kind of had it under control or somewhat contained, even though it didn't seem like it, right? Because it was still moving slowly. There was really no threat to the population. I mean, the smoke is deceiving, right? Because it travels large distances, especially with the wind. But the threat of actual flame was very far away. But as mentioned before, through that fire, we learned a lot, and it allowed us to, I guess, kind of reestablish our partnerships with these key agencies, right? So
that's all right. Look, Chief, I appreciate that. Go ahead.
So one more thing. I think the second part of your question was having the ability to view the fire. So we're looking into technology using AI, and part of it is right. And so the mainland, Cal Fire especially, right? They've developed technology in partnership with these private companies. One, to have cameras on scene, right, posted throughout the island, on telephone poles and whatnot, and based on the images and AI, it'll provide us an early detection. So we can at least a crew out there before a 911 call is made, right? And so we do have some sensors being placed. We had, it's called the N5 system. So those are placed right now on the Waianae side. We're piloting that. And that is almost like a smoke detector, but more for outdoors, right?
Yeah.
So those are technologies that we're exploring right now that will help us for early detection and response.
So let me just say something, though. So, and I have no idea, as Chief just said, we haven't had any questions of the fire department that this would come up tonight. But to give you a perspective, and I didn't know the general was going to be here tonight either, and I talked earlier about our partnership with the military and how much they've helped us. The 2 helicopters that HFD currently has, we have a new one coming in, their ability to drop water is about 100 gallons each.
Correct.
Correct. 100 gallons. We got a hold of the military because it's a big area up there, and again, the lessons learned from Lahaina. I said earlier, I think we had 6 between Blackhawks and Chinooks in the air. They could drop 2,000 gallons each. 2,000 gallons each, and we had them going around the clock on that fire. Okay? So there was never a threat. No matter what your picture may be, Commander, it was never a threat. This fire took 40 days to extinguish, but was under control quickly. So I want to offer you that assurance.
I'm not arguing that, but 40 days is a lot of manpower used.
Well, it takes that because if you understand anything about these wildfires, there was a special team that came in after the fire stopped, digging out underground because those root structures all stay simmering. It is a very arduous process, and we work with the top people. We have guys coming in from California. That's what it takes. That's the danger of these fires. Okay?
It's just that they said it was out.
I know. We're going to find out who that guy is.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll tell you right now, we're going to find out who he is. I'm going to bring him to your house. Okay? We'll take care of it. All right? I promise you, we'll take care of it. But I'm proud of how that fire was handled. It was all done from the air. It really was done well. Okay? We'll move on. Sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, good evening. Thank you for being here, and I really, really appreciate what you guys do as leaders. I come from a military background, so my question, sorry, I've got to say a couple things before the question. When running a business, usually we get a no later than date completion, right? When you started your speech here, sir, you stated complete transparency, and I really appreciate that. And I'm going to use the same format as the lady prior to me did. Wouldn't it be nice if with all these issues that are being addressed, potholes, not having sidewalks, the rail, parks, right? Would it be nice that any average Joe or a community can check by logging into their computer and saying, here's my project, or here's what I complain about, when is my completion date? When is my leader, the chosen leader, going to solve this problem, right?
Well, the city doesn't work like that, okay? And I appreciate that very idealistic view of the world. The problems in the city are very complicated. It's a big place. And none of the problems are linear or simple to solve. They're pretty complex. So, you know, as we said earlier about, I know sidewalks haven't come up tonight. We expected to talk about that. Just even the repair of sidewalks and the manpower that it takes. And these are all big issues. It's one of the real challenges of the city. So, you know, it would be ideal if we could say, yeah, individuals just log your complaint and we'll be there and we can take it. That's all we're doing. We're just trying to deal with the macro issues as best we can based on manpower that's available. And we're trying to take care of the more serious problems first. So, you know, that's just the reality, you know. And I would tell you, if there's any anguish in this job for me as mayor, is you seemingly feel like you can't get enough done fast enough. Because even when you get stuff done and done well, stuff is popping up all over the place. It's like the ultimate game of whack-a-mole, you know? It's just always happening. So nothing is static, you know, and the problems you could list today here, which could take a whole city department, are also happening in all these other districts. So I'm being straight with you on that.
Yes, sir, and I totally understand that. But what I'm saying is, if somebody complains about something and it goes back into the burner, what is the response of the leader? What are they doing to address that issue? Even if it is nothing, it has to be acknowledged. Creating realistic expectations is
better
good
communication.
For the community. Correct.
Like some people up here tonight said, I wrote a letter you never heard, although one of the men said he didn't hear from me. Because the people who get the mail from me, a lot of it, that gets routed to people because they think that's who's better to do it. We'll look into that. Look, we're trying to, on our website alone, trying to be a lot more accommodating, number one. Number two, as the chief just said, with the fire department, but Don will tell you about, in fact, there's been a number of articles just recently on all the things we're doing with DPP and technology. We're trying to be technically savvy. You know, I would tell you, I came from a technical-driven business, 43 years in media. Technology always drove the business. From when I first started at KGMB in 1977, and for the older people in this audience, remember, we used to watch television on a one-week delay, and all the way up through all the evolution, all the way up through and including this, okay? So I was surprised coming into office. I'm not here to disparage anybody before me. I was surprised at the lack of investment the city had made in technology.
Correct.
So I said that nobody ever talked about it during the campaign, but one of our objectives had to be modernizing the city. You know, and that's not just buying technology, because with the technology, with the software, comes training of people and all kinds of other things. So if I said to you, within the 5th year of the 3rd decade of the 21st century, there's not a lot of departments in the city right now totally functioning at that level. But we're mindful of that, and we're trying to get caught up, if not get ahead. I said earlier tonight, so much of the work that we do is about the future. So we are trying to modernize the city, and at some point, I think we've made some really good progress. Quite honestly, I think our website is much more easier to navigate than it was before, but we got a ways to go. And I don't know, Stephen, I think we're doing pretty good. Anything you want to answer to that? I'll give you the microphone. So I appreciate that, but honestly, the problems, there's a saying in this business, I have not maybe said it to you before, but maybe you can appreciate it. In this job, the days are long, but the years are short. It is hard. It is hard to get to all this stuff. You can't imagine, okay? You can't imagine how much there is to be done. Stephen?
Again, thank you for that question. But in regards to technology, there are a lot of things that this mayor has put in place that really has pushed us a lot forward into the future. And one of the big areas was increasing our budget, because one of the things we did notice, and cost, I guess the amount of budget that we did have, we're pretty much way below a lot of other cities, even smaller than us, numbers-wise. And one of the things that we did recommend to the mayor was we needed more money in order to do that, and that's one of the things that he did do, and that really elevated us and allowed us to do a lot more things with the money we do have. And one of the things that is very unique about our department is that we have our own software development staff, which is very unique from the state as well as other countries on other counties on the mainland, and that allows us to do a lot more things, to be a lot more responsive to what the departments need, and also to be able to do things that a lot faster. And that in itself, that really helps propel us, and that's how we're able to do. We are touching on things like artificial intelligence as well. I mean, there's a lot of other things that we are doing, but there are things that we're able to do a lot faster than a lot of other cities on the mainland. They can't do as fast as we can as far as developing applications, as well as doing other things that we're doing network-wise as well. So again, that increased budget allows us to do a lot more today.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Thank you. So like I said earlier tonight, we don't always say what you want to hear, but I wish it was that simple. But let me give another pitch, since Bugs already did it. The other thing nobody ever talked about during the campaign was the vacancies. When we come into office, one of the first things I encountered as somebody who used to operate businesses in the private sector was the manpower issue. And having 3,000 vacancies hit you in the face, and trying to even get your head around that, knowing that full well 15% of our workforce was already past the age of retirement, was its own challenge. We've made a lot of inroads with that. But I can tell you right now, Dr. Island will tell you, we just took a meeting today with the supervisors, we haven't even been able to buy an ambulance for 3 years. Dr. Babcock will tell you, we haven't even been able to buy garbage trucks for the last 3 years. We're like 21 behind. Not only that, we don't have enough mechanics to even service the ones that are breaking up. This is a reality that we deal with. So in all honesty, both of those are kind of a post-COVID supply side challenge. But that's why things don't happen that quickly, okay?
Totally understandable, sir. All
right.
I was looking for is what is the response, or what is the solution that you guys
I
are
think
going
that
to?
if you write a letter to the city, you should get back a decent response. We got to be able to deal with that and make sure you get that. That's the best I could tell you right now.
Thanks,
I
sir.
appreciate your question, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we've got 20 minutes late. We're going to end at 9, so let's, okay. I've seen these shirts before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name's Kimo. I represent Hawaii Inline Hockey, Inc. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it's a long day for everybody. But yeah, we run the local youth hockey league out of Mililani. It's about a 25-year-old facility. We're super grateful to have it. It's really great. But it does need improvements. So we're just here to ask for improvements. It's a big ask, and we realize that. But we are asking for a roof with lights and some tile, and that would just increase the.
It's not just, Kimo, it's not just some tile. It's $80,000 for a court.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
right?
I just slide that in, sir. You just.
Yeah, I know, but
interpret
that's,
that however
we're-
you want.
Look, we're really familiar with it, and we're really on top of it. I got Scott Humber, who skates in the same park up back there. We really want to do right by that park.
We appreciate it.
Okay, I don't know about the lighting and stuff, but we
Right.
hear you. We know, just today, we talked about how much, I've been out there.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
You know that. We know how much that park is used. Not unlike what we talked about with the skateboarding and all the kids you've got, all the leagues, you guys are to be commended. We get that. What I said a little bit earlier about all the districts, everybody, how people play, we want our kids involved in healthy sports, okay? So I promise you, we're looking at that really hard, that particular ice rink. Well,
Thank you.
It's not an ice rink anymore, but
Inline rink,
you know what I mean. It's like a hockey rink.
It's hockey, definitely.
It's a
hockey
it says
rink.
hockey right there,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, we get it.
All right.
I promise you, Kimo, Scott, are we not on this? I promise you we're on it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, we're going
Is
to try
it
to
o-
make that happen.
Is it okay if one of our members just
Sure,
talks from
go
our heart?
ahead. I'm not trying to cut you short. I'm just telling you, we are on this. Some of the stuff tonight, first time I heard about stuff, this we're on top of. Go ahead.
You want to talk? No? Just say what you want.
Aloha, my name is Ana Bakleyan. I'm a junior in high school, and I am one of the many teen hockey players who use the hockey rink at the community park. I would like to address the construction of a roof and lights for our outdoor hockey rink, which we very much need. I live in Kapolei, and after school finishes, I quickly hustle to the hockey practice in Mililani, which starts at 5:30 p.m. and ends at sunset. The sun is our timer. Our practices would be longer if we had lights, but we do not at this time, so we do the best we can, and in a sense, race sunset, to quickly get all our drills in a partial scrimmage. Sadly, there is not enough time to have long scrimmages, which to me is the best part of practice and the funnest for us competitive teens. Having outdoor lights will allow our group to not feel the rush of sunset's inevitable lights out. Ue kalani ola kahonoa. This means when it rains, the land thrives. Mililani is beautiful and green, but it rains a lot, and because of that, many of our games and practices are canceled. Can you please give us a roof? Mahalo.
Well, I understand Councilwoman Val Okimoto's here. She's put money in the budget for this. Is that not correct? Why don't you come up, Councilmember Okimoto? I'm telling you, we're on top of this, and I appreciate the letter, and I get it. I get it. Look, what a lot of you may not know about me is I spent my 20s as a college football coach before I ever got involved in media. And it's been, so a lot of who I am, a lot of is rooted in this stuff. This goes deep with me, okay? So I get it. I want you to know that.
Aloha, Mayor. Thank you. Kimo and your team, thank you for being here. We are working on this diligently, as Mayor Blangiardiʻs said. I appreciate all the testimonies. I did put this in my budget. Just early today, my team and I did meet with our representative from Parks, and we're working closely on this, and we're going to do our best. I'm always going to be fiscally responsible, so I'm not going to overpromise and underperform, but we're working hard. I mean, I grew up, playing sports as well. So just asking for your patience. Thank you for coming and being supportive. We did put in the budget, and I'm going to continue working with the mayor's admin to do what we can this year. And if we can't get everything this year, then we're going to continue working to see what we can get in future years. But I appreciate you guys being here. Mahalo, Mayor. And thank you again to the Parks Department for working with my office and I.
Kimo, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your vision. Thanks for working with these kids.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David. I'm from Eva Beach. This is not about hockey.
You just wore the shirt. You got the team jersey on tonight. This is good. Okay, go ahead.
I was wondering if there's a central place to report deficiencies in city facilities. For example, at the park they skate at, the skylight's been out for since as long as we've been there, and when it rains, the floor gets wet, it gets really slippery.
Right.
Or if there's a sidewalk that's, rather than me trying to find down the right department, is there a location we can report anything and have it be addressed?
Keep it short, Steve. We got 15 minutes. Go ahead. Take it. Yep.
We have an application called HNL 311, or also called Honolulu 311, and you can actually do it not only on your phone, but also if you have a desktop as well. You go to, and on your phone, you have that ability to, actually what I really like about it is that there are certain particular issues that you can report that are already in the system. They just check the box. You don't have to know which department it has to go to. It has the workflow already built in, so it knows it should go to DFM or DTS or whatever department's responsible for it.
So tell them again, Stephen,
Yes.
the HNL. Go ahead.
Again, HNL 311. That's the application to utilize for that.
To piggyback on the earlier comment about the fire, could something in there get routed to the fire department? How she could take a picture but didn't have a way to send it to the fire department?
Okay, well, I guess two parts to it. HNL 311 is, you don't use that for emergencies.
Okay.
That's 911 is used for emergencies. But actually, to address the one other person talked about not to be able to take a picture, another duty that I'm on a board called Enhanced 911 Board, and over the next couple of years, we're going to migrate the Enhanced 911. It's going to be transformed into next generation 911, because now we have these cell phones and they can take pictures, do videos. Over the next couple of years, that is something that you'll be able to do with your phone and be able to get that to those 911 dispatchers.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for
No,
coming.
thank you. You okay with that? You good? Good? Good. Sir, thank you.
Hi. Thank you for being here, everyone, for hearing our concerns. My name is Daniel Gabriel. I'm a certified water specialist, certified installer through the WQA. We have a lot of credits for certain things like, say, solar. You get a tax credit for installing something like that in-house. Why don't we have tax credits for point of entry, point of use water systems that can help take and ease the load off the Board of Water Supply? They do a great job with the budgets that they have to meet the U.S. EPA demands. But why don't we have something
Okay,
like that?
Daniel, good question. Erwin.
Hi,
Okay.
thank you for that question. Okay, point-of-use water devices are used only when you have a situation that the water system isn't compliant with a regulation and it needs to be installed. We don't have that situation here, so all of our water is certified and it meets all the regulatory standards, and so we deliver it. But if we do have a situation that we have to put in point-of-use, we will make sure that we notify you and then manage all of those systems. Okay?
Fair
Thank you.
enough. But credits could be good to get people to
Sure. Yeah, we could
increase their health and health benefits from their water. And then on a different note, side note, I didn't even expect to stand here and speak today, but Chief Logan is in town. I'd like to just address the aggressive actions that have been taken against law-abiding citizens that are firearm owners. Just a quick story. I am I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have no violent crime, no crime to my record. In 2017, 2018, on my own cognition, I reached out to a psychologist to get some stress management. This was then turned around and used against me by the HPD to not only deny me a handgun permit that I applied for, but also told me that I need to surrender all of my firearms that I have existing. Again, so it seems to me like I'm being penalized for trying to better myself on my own cognition. I just think maybe you guys need to review what you guys have set up. I understand you're doing it for our safety, but it ends up hurting the law-abiding citizens and not the criminals that have them illegally.
No, thank you for that, and something to take a look at. Absolutely, as we had to, as the laws changed, as they made it, one is we went from a may issue a license to carry, not just a permit to acquire, but shall. And so because of that, we've had new requirements. And then the laws changed, and those changes in laws made it somewhat difficult, but not impossible. And so there's new requirements now. You can probably reapply and see what happens, but it's the evaluation of a doctor to have you evaluated and have that come through our system and let us take a look at it and make an evaluation from that.
Thank you very much. I was able to do everything that you guys asked for, mental health clearance letter, all that. It's just I had to pay out of pocket being a Kaiser Permanente HMO patient. So I just want to maybe see if you guys could revise some of that and maybe address it more towards the criminals.
Well, Daniel, just so you know, and I'm going to speak for Chief here, as a position, we're being very aggressive. We understand the Supreme Court ruling. You used the word aggressive. We are being aggressive. We're going to abide by that because we have to uphold the law. But Hawaii is not a gun culture. Yep. We already got too many kids with guns, ghost guns. We've already had, of late, too many shootings. For those of us who've lived here for a long time, unprecedented and horrifying. If people are afraid of homeless people, let me tell you. So I've asked the chief to be very aggressive and discerning. People go through the process. They've applied. We've upheld the law. We've given permits, but they're being pretty strict. And I don't want to embarrass you at all, but, you know, when you have things on your record, as you just said, or even DUIs for people in other situations, it becomes problematic. So I hear what you're saying, you know, and we want to be fair, okay? But I would tell you, as I said earlier tonight, public safety is our #1 priority for us. And we're not going to turn this place into somewhere in the Southwest just because there's a law that says you can have open carry, just so you know, okay?
All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Cosner. I have a question and a statement. First question, I heard at a recent council meeting that the Navy is monitoring water in Mililani. I live nearby that said monitoring area, so I want to know if the public will be notified about what is being monitored and the results.
Okay. So, Greg, we have Erwin from the Board of Water Supply here tonight. Okay.
So on that particular bill, okay, it was really on a monitoring well that the Navy has at Kuahealani Park. And what they're doing is monitoring the groundwater because there's a pipeline, or there's a formerly used military pipeline plus underground storage tank that has some leak. So part of that work is to understand what is the impact to the groundwater. That is something that we've been talking to Department of Health because we'd like to get more information about it ourselves. And so once we try to get that, we're in discussions with Department of Health. I know the city's in discussions with the Navy to try to get more information on that. So when we do, we'll try to make that available.
Okay, thank you very much. And then just really quick, back to sports. Waipio Soccer Complex, I know the whys and, you know, everything that we're waiting on, but if or when we get to having to move the park, will the community have a say in terms of what's going to be built there, size, lighting, facilities, stadium?
Okay.
YPO. Hours of operation.
Yeah. First of all, my 3 kids played AYSO and played HISA. I can't tell you how many sidelines I've been on in my life. Love the sport.
Yep.
We are we'll absolutely respect what YPO represents. We're going through a process, and we're going to know in the next 30 days. We were left with no choice. We did a lot of due diligence. We have a clock ticking on the landfill. We've had to look around because in setting up a land action committee and finding out everything is a no-pass zone, the Red Hill event, more than anything, became more than seminal. It made the possibility of using technology to build over an aquifer a non-starter. We had to look around and say, where is the eventual or possible land? It's either on the coast or it's Lualua, and we said we're not going to put it in the west, or it was at Bellows, and we're not going to put it at Bellows. And so, you know, Waipio became a possibility as a peninsula. But the military, as I said earlier tonight, and not just because the general is here, has been great to work with. We're waiting for an answer. It's a process. We kind of think we know where it's going to go, and then we'll deal with that accordingly, so stay tuned.
Okay.
I can only tell you this, and if we ever had to, and this is hypothetical, remove Waipio, if we ever had to do something that before we ever did that, there would be a newer and better soccer complex somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay? Because we understand how important it is. So tonight we heard from kids who want to skate, kids who want to play hockey, and on behalf of all the soccer players and soccer moms out there, which is a very dangerous group of people, you know, we're doing everything we can, but there's a process to this. Mike, is there anything you want to add to that?
I'd just say that I was up at Indo-PACOM yesterday, and I think we're going to have a decision from the military sometime next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Scott, we got 5 minutes left. Showtime. Who's left? Here we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judith Kawamura, and I live in Mililani.
Hello,
And
Judith.
And the reason why I'm here is to express my great concern regarding the city and county trees that line our main streets. On December 8, 2023, a tree, city and county tree, fell on my rooftop. Luckily,
Put it right in front of
You have to talk into the microphone.
luckily it hit the community wall first
Right.
before hitting my house.
I've seen a picture of it.
Yeah, and so I'm really, really stressed. And talking to community people around my home, there was another incident where on Lani Kuhana across Cam Highway, a tree branch, a big one, fell into their yard. And the father was begging, I guess city and county, he said state, but I know it's city and county, to remove the tree in the back, but they didn't. And so in December, the whole tree fell down on the wall and on the bedroom where the 8-year-old son was sleeping. And luckily, it didn't penetrate to hit the boy.
Okay.
And this is my concern, and that's why I'm advocating so strongly with the neighborhood board, with the city and county, with the Parks and Recreation. And thanks to our deputy director, Kehao Pu'u, and her administrator, Roxanne Adams, we've been able to work together, and now we're going to set up some conferences in Mililani to educate us about the homes.
All right, so it's less of a question than a statement. We get it. Like I said, I've even seen pictures of your home. We're on that. But as I said earlier tonight, trees are a major issue in a lot of areas.
Especially in Mililani, because on that day, on December 8th, 28+ trees fell in Mililani alone. And apparently, I was the only one who had the tree fall on the home.
Okay.
And I just want to add that in the newspaper in February, Councilwoman, what was her name? Who's in charge of the finance.
Radiant Cordero.
Yes.
She's a budget.
She claimed there's $700,000 in the bank. If you don't use it to plant more trees by a certain deadline, it's gone. And so
Okay.
I'm suggesting that we use some of that money to possibly hire more people. You said there's lack of
Oh, we're
funds.
trying to hire people.
Okay. And also,
How about you,
see
Judith?
what
Would you like
we
a
can
job? You come help me plant trees. No, I don't want to make light out of it because it's very serious. It is a serious topic. Does anybody want to take a shot at that?
That would be me.
Okay.
So,
It's
thank you.
serious, Judith. It is. Good. Yeah.
It's nice to see you in person again. So, after last year's town hall, we did activate and have started to do tree reduction, tree removal on Lani Kuhana and Ku'aihelani Avenue, and we're not done. But I think we removed like 8 trees, have done reduction on 20, and have replanted. And replanted trees are more appropriate for the area. I think last year I said like we're more akamai today than we were 30 years ago about what's appropriate for the planting space. So that work is continuing. And then, yes, Radiant Cordero did put in a budget add $700,000 for tree planting. So we do have a planting plan. We're planning to plant more trees in our parks. We're open to communities. Like we've had some community groups express a desire for tree planting. So, you can reach out to us and we will assess and see if it's, there's appropriate.
I don't think it's Mililani people that are requesting trees because, as you know, vandalism is attacking because
right.
they're so frustrated.
I understand, Judith.
And so we need to resolve this. First, take care of the trees we have. If they're not good, cut it down. Life is more important than trees.
No, we get that.
Yeah.
But also I could if I had Matt Gonzer up here talking about canopies and what it does for cleaning, we get up on that. We hear you. I want one last question. Thank you, Judith. We're all over it. I promise you.
We're working
that.
on it.
But
We are.
We're
We're
all
not
over it.
done, but we've started.
Last question of the night, and then we will stay around for any of you who didn't want to come up to the microphone and try to answer anything we can. Sir, you get the big finish. Thank you, Judith.
But Mayor,
Yes.
I'm going to keep hounding you.
Yeah. You know, Judith, why am I not surprised? I get it. I welcome that. I look forward to that. Sir, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Warren, and I have I need some help. There's a houseless guy out here who can't make it to the restroom himself. Can't keep his pants up. About 3 weeks ago, I was talking with Ken and with Rose from the governor's office, and I spoke with a police officer on the following Sunday. He was picked up, disappeared for about 2 weeks.
Let's talk about that. We'll give you
back on
help
the street now.
with Jim Ireland, with CORE.
Yeah,
and
I'd like somebody to teach me.
Jim, we'll talk to you about that. We'll identify
how
his
to
name.
navigate.
All right, we'll do that.
We'll
All right.
send Core out to come get him, but I'll see you right
Okay.
after.
We are now officially out of time. As I said, we'll run. I just want to thank all of you. A couple of our people up here tonight, thank you for spending your evening with us. I thank you for caring about where you live to the extent that you came here tonight and the questions that have been asked. And as I promised you, we will follow up with everybody on everything. And going back to Liz's point here, Wahiawa is not the forgotten land for us, not at all. That's why we're here tonight. So please know that. Thank you for your participation. We really appreciate it. Aloha.